How did you use the new technologies in the construction, research and planning and evaluation stages? The majority of the research that I found was online, where I watched many documentaries to get a good idea of the different codes and conventions to a documentary work. I used websites such as BBC iPlayer and 4AD, where I analysed the variety of features that were specific to the different types of documentaries and specific to the channel. I gathered a lot of knowledge from this, which allowed me to gather enough understanding of documentaries to start base work. I learned important information for setting up interviews, such as rule of thirds and what kind of content I needed, which helped for writing the interview questions. Using the internet, I also was able to collect a variety of facts and figures on smoking, which were useful when constructing the voiceover to the documentary. Another use of the internet was collecting archive material, which we could use in our documentary to back up different points being made and also represent one of our binary opposites, which is traditional smoking versus modern smoking. With all my research, I used Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, which helped me set out my planning and research. Once I had created work, I would then use online presentation tools such as eMaze, Prezi, Powtoon, SlideShare, SlideBoom and Pictochart to then upload my work onto my blog. I used Microsoft Excel when presenting my questionnaire data, as I was able to create graphs for the different questions, clearly allowing me to see my results. When researching, I also used my mobile phone as I was able to make phone calls and send emails to arrange interviews for my documentary. Once deciding on the channel we felt was appropriate, being Channel 4, it then guided our production process, as we would need to follow the necessary codes and conventions for the channel. This geared our print advert, as from looking at previous Channel 4 adverts, I was able to construct an advert I felt appeared to be realistically made by Channel 4. Whilst constructing my products, I was introduced to new equipment such as a DV camera, which I used to record interviews and take images, involving the use of a microphone and tripod. As we recorded more, I became more aware of the different features on the camera. It was important that when using these products, I followed the documentary codes and conventions that I'd researched, and I had to conform to these conventions in order to make my product look professional. An example of this would be learning about rule of thirds. This meant that when recording an interview, I had to make sure that the interview was set up in the right place. We then would have to do a sound check in order to see whether the microphone was on and clearly receiving the sound from the interviewee. From one interview we had recorded again with Linda Sharp. This was because after listening to the beginning of the interview, there was no clear sound and a microphone was in the incorrect place. Once we collected our footage, we would then use Premiere to edit and construct our documentary. Premiere proved to be difficult, however, once I had a wider understanding of the product, I was then able to use it with ease. Premiere allowed us to construct our documentary and radio trailer. Last came the minor details which finished the documentary, such as graphics, which were able to be added due to Premiere in the correct position with the right effects, ensuring that it would look substantial level of professionalism. We had a difficult moment with Premiere, as towards the end of finishing off our documentary, after hours of construction, the product crashed and meant that we had lost a lot of our work. Aside from this, though, my confidence with Premiere was at its highest at the end of our post-production.